G'day, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of the AUSNZ Community Podcast. How is everybody been? We have a great episode for you guys this evening. We have special guests, HWA, joining us, and Dabell. We can't wait to talk to them a little bit later on. And yeah, wow, cracking episode we've got lined up. We have an absentee today. Pete is away and he's not feeling well, so he's a bit bedridden. So get well, Pete. We hope you get better, mate, and we'll see you back in the next episode. But at late notice, we have JR, Jack Rabbit, who is coming in to fill in for Pete. She's going to do an awesome job. We'll talk to her in a little bit. But first, I just want to welcome Eva to the episode. How are you, mate?
Doing well. Did the local Victorian meetup today. Had Emperor Bill, Anubis, Maury, Goose, and Aiden all appear. We had some burgers and beers at a pub, a central pub, which was great.
Awesome.
I had a couple of drinks and got home and had a nap, and here I am. I'm still awake. Not
Beautiful.
so under the weather. Yeah, the last couple of weeks pretty busy. Work's been pretty flat out. Been yeah. Other than that, just plodding along really.
Stuff, mate, and the meetup, and it was good to see everybody and catch up with the guys and have a good laugh. And
yeah, we had a good laugh. I was poking Anubis in the ribs a fair bit about the incident at the start of August. But you know, we've laid that to rest. Never forget.
JR, thank you so much for coming on such short notice. I'm sure you were giggling at just me and Eva then, but mate, thank you for coming in and filling in for Pete, and welcome to the episode.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back as a co-host this time. I just literally stepped in. Stepped in. I was out for a while, and I just came home and I saw GTR's message. So yeah, I'm happy to take Pete's place for the meantime. Hopefully, just for today.
We'll have to make it a permanent replacement there, JR. Sorry, Pete, you've lost your job. No, all seriousness, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it, especially on short notice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Pete, get well. He'll be back ready firing for the next episode.
Yeah.
JR, yeah, well, we didn't expect to have you back 2 episodes in a row, but how's your last 2 weeks been, mate?
Yeah, it was okay. It was actually when my podcast episode was released, I was so happy with all the good feedback from everyone in AUSNZ, and some sent a DM. There was a DM that I wasn't expecting, but I didn't know that player. Do you know him? GTR, it was Cap A.
Yes. Cap A, yes. I do know Cap A. We're pretty friendly on Discord and talk every now and then. He's a good young lad.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he said he liked the podcast episode, and then of course everyone who gave their feedback on the podcast general chat channel on the main server. Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Maraming salamat po. In Filipino, that means thank you.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So your episode was received really, really well. I even had some DMs as well from a few people saying that it was a fantastic episode. I think Moxie and a couple of the other guys online. There's been a lot of love for you there, JR.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we I just want to this news that I want to share with you guys. First of all, special shout out to one of our listeners from overseas, Notorious, or Noto, as some people like to call him. He's a player in Syndicate, and just a special shout out to him. like our condolences on behalf of the podcast team. Our condolences to him and his family. Unfortunately, his father passed away during the week, so some very sad news there for Torius. A great player, very friendly, always up for a chat. And yeah, I heard the news on the Fair Play server from some of the Fair Play mods. It went around the community, and everybody's showing their love for Notorious. And mate, we just want to say from the podcast team that we are showing our love and support to you, buddy, and we hope you are okay during this difficult time. So all the best, mate. And if you want to have a chat, you know where we are. On to some other news. German Legends player Fly, who's really well known in the community. It's a great player, a very elite player. He's a beast with adventure. He's won a Fingersoft GP. He won a GP, I think it was the second season, and he is a fantastic team events player. He was banned during the week for reasons unknown, and then 24 hours later, Fingersoft has unbanned him, effective immediately. He is back in German Legends and back playing. Yeah, so, wow. It's quite a turnaround, like a 24-hour turnaround. Now, that doesn't really happen very often. When Fingersoft bans a player, they stay banned. However, on this occasion, I don't want to get into it too much, but Fingersoft obviously have made an error, and they have unbanned him, and he is back playing with German Legends. Unfortunately, he's lost his records. I think he still has his Adventure Stars. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's lost all his time attack records and things like that. So I just got notification that his stars are also gone as well. So that's very, very unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know what to say there, really. Like, let's just say, for example, either if you, obviously you're a legit player, but let's just say Fingersoft made an error and banned you, both your accounts, gave you no explanation or anything, returned your accounts, but you lost all your records, how would you feel?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Interesting as to how they could remove them but not be able to put them back. So, if they've restored his account, how could they have restored his account but not restored everything about his account? So,
exactly. I mean, surely they have logs, records. They've got backup systems.
Well, not only
to
that,
restore his records.
not only that, there's more to it than that. So, yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, I don't know how I'd feel. I'd probably feel disheveled, but I mean, there's a lot of hours and time that's gone into making my account my account. Not to mention
and money as well.
Yeah. Like, when I say time, it's also money as well. So it would be quite, not devastating. It's like not the end of the world. It's not like you've lost an arm or anything like that. But there's countless hours that to do all those stars.
Reputation as well, like community reputation. His reputation is not damaged, obviously, because he's been unbanned. But yeah,
if he's lost all of his world records, then yeah, like it is. His reputation has been banned, or has been scarred a little because
it has. Dabell could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he had something like 3.8 million stars or something like that. Quite a lot.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, so that's a bit of news coming out of the Fair Play server there. Yeah, I got the news when I woke up on Thursday morning, I think, or Wednesday or Thursday morning. It happened at about 2 a.m. our time that morning, and then the turnaround happened on the following morning for us that he was unbanned, and I was like, wow. That is a huge, like that amount of time, because it takes a long time to like check account information, emails back and forth, like to unban someone in that record time. That's like huge. I mean, I think Fingersoft must have thought, wow, they've kind of really stuffed up here. Let's correct it as soon as we can, and I think that's what they've done. Yeah,
interesting.
it is a very interesting one to go into. I mean, we don't know much what happened, but he's got his account back down. That's all. At the end of the day, that's what really matters. So, yeah. Eva, what are we going to have a chat about tonight on tonight's episode?
Well, we had a community member ask a bit more about playing cups and, the whys and hows of playing cups and all that sort of stuff. And he asked a few questions about building GP, and within the server, we referred him back to the previous episodes. And the comment was, there was not one specific episode that only spoke about cups. So I figured I would talk a little bit about cups, and what a great opportunity having Jackrabbit on the podcast with us. Because, let's face it, she's only done a couple of million points in cups.
Tens of millions.
Yeah.
What's your favourite car to use in cups?
It's always been the rally car since I started playing. When I was just at the lowest GP and acquired the rally car, I upgraded it the most because I was a cups player. So when I had the tires, I upgraded it. When I had the magnet, upgrade max, and everything. So yeah, the reason why I use a specific vehicle, which is the rally car, is because you're time constrained. Okay, so typically for me, one legend level, 10,000 cup points, takes me 2 hours. Yeah, that is without Discord,
Wow.
Discord interruption or Discord. Yeah, you're not distracted on Discord. That's plainly gaming the cups. So I play 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at noon, 2 hours in the evening. So if for you to be able to do that in 2 hours, you wouldn't want to switch vehicles. So I would always use the rally car. But at some point, I also use the super bike. I also use the hot rod. And actually, just maybe last month, Muzz told me that I might want to try using other vehicles, to familiarize myself more. Because honestly, I'm not very familiar with using the other vehicles. I only use them for team events. That's because I always use the rally car. Yeah.
I was just going to say, with the rally car,
Yeah.
when you first start off with, it's actually like one of the it's a fast car to use, even with low parts, like even with like low tunes. It pretty much still beats any cup racer, and it's like equivalent to your level that you are at when you first start off. That's why it's pretty much everyone's go-to vehicle, I reckon.
Yes.
It was certainly my go-to vehicle. I don't know about you either, but it was my go-to vehicle when I first started playing. I was just rally car, rally, all cups, until I started upgrading other vehicles and exploring them. And then now the rally car is my least used cup vehicle. How about that?
Oh.
I never used the rally car. Ever.
So
never.
what do you use? What do you use lately? What do you use the most?
I use about 5 or 6 vehicles. I use the monster truck. I use the super bike. I use the hot rod. I use the super Jeep and Mark 1 Jeep.
Not the rotator?
And yes, sorry, I was missing one. And the rotator. So that's about 6 vehicles or so.
Yeah.
And I never used the rally car.
I could try that. Yeah.
What parts are you using, JR, on the rally car?
I have 3 setups. The most for the setup that I use the most is afterburner, coin boost, and overcharged turbo. And then when I'm low on coins, I switch the overcharged turbo to magnet, so I could harvest coins as well. And then comes in the kilometers. And then if I have this mountainous or hill that I need to fly tracks, I would use afterburner, overcharged turbo, and wings. Yeah. I would switch on those three
Yep.
setups.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Mad Max was saying that his main car was
Mhm.
the main vehicle of choice was the rally car,
Okay.
overcharged turbo, afterburner, and coin boost. And he manages to basically not run out of fuel on most maps. And if some of the longer maps, he uses coin boost, winter tires, and afterburner. And then on the desert mile, he'll use
Oh yeah.
fuel boost, overcharged turbo, and wings. So on the rally car. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when I was doing most of my cups on my main account,
Mhm.
rally was the only car to use.
Mhm.
But with the alt, building the alt, I actually used the hot rod and the
Yep.
rotator the most.
Afterburner.
Rotator with
Coin.
wings,
Yep.
afterburner, and coin. Yep. And after Dreddy's comments about lowering the suspension, it was a really good car to use on lots of tracks because you could still hit it, run into things. That was the good thing I loved about the rally car. You could go flat out into a wall and not die, and you didn't have to worry about being a bit more precise on the landings or anything like that. And hitting your head in the mines maps and stuff like that. So, and then the other one was hot rod, which was the same thing. You could still hit your head a couple of times or once or twice and still not die. So yeah, that was always handy. But I must say, hot rod for me, with magnet coin and fuel boost, and
Yeah.
you just demolishes cups, So the other couple of questions I had were more about why you do cups. So, do you open chests with gems, or do you just let them sit there? Is it about opening
It's
chests,
about
or is it
making
about making
kilometers for me
kilometers?
and not opening chest. I do open chest. I do open chest when I feel like
Okay.
um splurging on gems and when a new part comes out
Yep.
because
Yep.
you would want to hunt for the new parts, just like right now we have 4 new parts that came out with the update.
Yep.
So I open chest from time to time,
Yep.
but not all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you have the new update because I added you as a friend
Yeah.
using that new feature.
Yeah.
Using the new feature in the
Yes.
game, anybody who's on your team, you can click on
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
avatar, or you can click on their name in the list where the kilometers show
Yeah.
how many kilometers you've done. You can click on their
Yeah.
name there, and your driver's license comes up. And if they have the update and you have the update, it says add friend, and you
Yeah.
can add a friend, which is pretty cool. So yeah. So and then the last couple of questions were more about. So Mad Max said the same sort of thing when it came to chess. He was more
Mhm.
interested in opening chests, so he would use gems if he needed to. And he is more looking for
Yeah.
rewards. That's why he
Yeah.
does the cups. He's looking for the rewards to upgrade. And then the last couple of questions I had was,
Mhm.
in terms of Premium Pass or VIP, were you using that to help you open chests?
Well,
And
before it
obviously,
did. I
you're
was
not.
over more than a year or closely to 2 years when I was using VIP, and it helped because you don't just have the premium pass, you have the, what do you call that, the other, more, was it, yeah, the VIP, the rewards for VIP. So it's
VIP.
double the rewards. Yeah, but
Yeah.
primarily I play cups
Yep.
for
Yep.
to earn season points because
Yep. To earn season
yeah.
points. Yep. Okay. And that's the thing. Mad Max doesn't do it to earn season
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
He's doing it for grinding for parts and coins. And he says, as it's a
Mhm.
heaps more beneficial and more
Mhm.
time effective to grind cups and open a lot of chests.
Yeah.
Also, excess parts is then used for scrap to upgrade legendary parts. He usually takes the whole season to finish the trophy road. He says he has VIP on his alt, and he used to have it on his main account a while ago, but doesn't need to upgrade anymore. But he said it does help if you're trying to grow GP
because
by using
everything that you
So,
mentioned that
yeah.
Mad Max
So-
told you or answered for you, I think that's the practical way of playing cups. But mine was the competitive way of playing cups. Yeah.
Yep, of playing cups. Yeah. And that's why I asked the question, because for you to sit and open every single, I mean, that's thousands of gems over a week.
Yep, because you 12 gems a hit.
Yep, and if you're doing
without the ads,
if you're doing 10,000 cup points,
10,000
cup points
in
2 hours.
in 2 hours, that's 180 cup points per every win. I'm just doing a quick calculation on my calculator because I'm not that good. That's 55 chests. On average, that's 55 chests. So that's 12 by 12. That's 700 gems, because not all of them are 12 gems. There's a couple of 24 gems, and there's a couple of 48 gem chests in that.
That's
So
right.
call it 1,000 gems every 2 hours.
and since
chewing
I
some
mentioned that
gems.
for, let's say, 2 years that I was on VIP and I didn't use gems to open chests, now I am on 34,000 gems. And I don't know what to do with it.
Wow.
Someone even told me, you cannot take
Open
it to
chests?
your grave. You have to use it. Yeah.
That's so true, though.
You see, I used to play a game called Pole Position on my Commodore 64. This is going to age me now. And at the end of Pole Position, there used to be the dancing flags in the sky, and it was an overtaking bonus. You get an overtaking bonus. So I want that music to play at my funeral as
Oh
my
my God.
coffin rolls down the aisle.
Oh no, you're gonna have to put that in your will, mate.
I'm putting that in my will. God forbid, I'm putting that in my will. Yes, I want the overtaking bonus, like waving flags music, to be played at my funeral, because
You're not going
get
anywhere in the
careered
next
down
20
the
years.
down the aisle. No, I'm going to have to.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah, longer than
20 years. I'm going to live longer than 20 years. Only the good die young.
Yeah, we should probably get off the deaf subject.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, so that's kind of me wrapping up.
I've got one more question for Cups, though.
Yep.
My question is for Cups.
Yeah.
Now, JR, as an avid Cups player, I know you used rally car, like pretty much for all the cups and stages and stuff like that. But these days, do you have a specific vehicle? So if you see, let's just say Paradise Bay comes up, do you have a specific vehicle that you would use for the Cup Paradise Bay?
I would still just
Or
use the
would you
rally car.
still
But
just go rally
sometimes
car?
I would, when I would try to experiment, like hot rod, I will use it for all the tracks. I will use it for all the cups track that I would, whatever comes up.
Yeah. See, for me, I use because I look at the map and I look at the cup that shows up, and if I see Paradise Bay show up in the cup, I'm like, bang, straight away, monster truck, hands down. Afterburner, coin, and afterburner, coins, and wings. And I'm like, yep, straight off the bat, it's the monster truck. And then if I see something like off the top of my head, maybe one of the mines, I'll go a rotator. And then if I see water stage, I'll probably go I could either use a super bike, I could use the HillClimb Mark 1 or a Jeep or something like that. But I always look at the cup and see what it is, and I'm like, okay, I'm going on this vehicle. Is that like you, Eva? Do you look at the cup first and go, right, bang, yep, rotator for that, superbike for that, and so on and so forth? Because I choose the vehicle based on the cup itself.
No, I tend to do what JR's done. I've set up the vehicle to do cups. A vehicle to do cups, and I'll just do that vehicle for the night. So, I'll only burn through for the daily,
Yes, that's right.
the daily
Those
task.
tasks. Yeah.
I'll burn through those. Yep, I'll burn through those. I'll get those 10 wins. And then if I'm feeling like I just want to do a bit more, brain numbing stuff, I'll just do every single track in the vehicle that I've set up to do it in until I've had enough. So, and I'm in saying that, I'm usually using rotator anyway, which rotator, wings, coin, and afterburner on that the mile ones, on all the mile ones will easily win without doing too much work to it.
Yeah, I suppose when you're racing cups, you don't want to you don't want to put too much pressure on. You just want to just finish the cup and that's it. If you go back 4 or 5 years, right, to when HCR2 was relatively new and people were getting into the game and stuff like that, cups was a massively important part of the game. Like, it was the bread and butter. It was pretty much, that's what you did, because there was no teams.
Yeah.
Of course, back then, Adventure was there, but it didn't have the stars that we have. Like, the game's evolved massively since 4 or 5 years ago. But
at Adventure, you got to remember the people that moved from HCR1 to HCR2. I don't know about everybody else, but when I looked at Adventure in HCR1 and then went to Adventure in HCR2, I went, wow, they really don't want us to advance too well in this game. They're giving out 1 coin and 5 coin maximum picking up. In HCR1, you're picking up, 500 coins, 500 coins, relatively quickly in the game, for not going too very far. So, the long runs on Adventure weren't as rewarding on HCR2 as they were in HCR1. So for that reason, I think a lot of people started playing cups because they saw cups as being the
you got more
the way to maximize time for reward.
Yeah, you got more value out of playing cups than you were when we were playing Adventure.
Yeah. So, and then they did that 2 times coins for cup. I mean, that really should be 5 times coins for cup for watching an ad. Not 5 times coins for cups. 5 times coins for adventure runs for watching an ad or being VIP. I think 5 times would be better than 2 times. But that's
I think cups. If someone was to play the game now, cups is still, it pretty much still is the bread and butter, right, of the game. Like, people just play cups, right? But there's not an importance when it comes to cups. Like, on my alt account, I've had it for about, I don't know how long I've had my alt now, for probably about 2 years maybe, or a year and a half, or something like that. I'm still under 500,000 cup points. I rarely play cups, and I rarely play Adventure on my alt. I think I'm 200,000 stars or something stupid like that. And so those 2 modes I rarely play. I just play public events. When I see a good one, I'll smash through it, get to 400, and then I obviously play team events. Those are my just 2 modes that I play on my alt, and pretty much now on my main account. I just don't see playing cups a huge, relatively, it's not a massive importance to the game these days. Maybe 5 years ago, it was. But these days, nobody cares about cups. There's nobody cares, but it's irrelevant to your actual ranking on the game. It doesn't make
I
you a
would
better
agree
player.
with that too.
Yeah, but it gives you experience. Like, it gets you the tracks, and you
Yeah.
get to know all the tracks and stuff like that. But it doesn't make you
Yeah.
a better player. Like, it doesn't evolve you.
Oh, I
It doesn't.
disagree. I disagree about it making you a better player because, like,
I was saying it doesn't
yeah,
evolve
it's
you as a player. It doesn't like give you, say, a better edge than than say like a team event or a public event where it's you're versing other people, you're getting better skill because you're playing against ghosts in the cups. Whereas on a public event, you're playing live. It's yeah.
yeah, I get that bit, but no, I think the thing that's lost with cups is you don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
a time attack player to win at
Mm-hmm.
cups. You've just got to participate, and participation is rewarded. That's what it comes down to.
It's just not
So for
challenging.
that
It's
reason,
not
you're not
challenging you,
gonna.
is it?
It's not challenge. It's not challenging. But in saying that, I think that's purposeful. Like today at the meetup, we talked about, you know, when you're challenging in a cup and you're playing a cup and all that sort of stuff. Does it look for your PB for that vehicle in the cup? And 9 times out of 10, you finish a cup race, unless you're going up against a boss. You could be 5 seconds out of your PB and still win.
Does this leave the question to
Um,
Fingersoft and say, do they need to revolutionize cups? Do they need to do a
Yeah.
big overhaul of cups and make it so that it's challenging to
Yeah.
the player again? Or
no, I think they've got the mix done well because people who play Trophy
Mm-hmm.
Road, they get to the bosses. The bosses can be quite hard. And if you're trying to do Trophy Road in a month without spending hours on the game, and you get the rewards, then it's challenging enough, but not so much that you're going to go, oh, this is too hard, I'm going to give it away. So they've given cups the ability to
Yeah.
be challenging enough that
Yeah.
it makes you want to come back,
Yes.
and rewarding enough
And
that you want to play it.
JR and Ema, if Fingersoft had came out with a massive update, let's say off the top of my head, if they made cups into a live version of the game, like the public event, rather than playing against ghosts, would that change the game? Would that be a revolution for the game?
In my mind, I think the opportunity to play someone live.
You can invite like friends to play in a cup. Say like I can invite you, JR,
Yeah.
HWA.
I think
Like
that
I
would
can
be cool.
invite 3 people. We can all play
Yeah,
a cup live and race in like a live mode.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
that would be cool, but it would be. I think the logistics, like the server logistics of that, would be a huge impost. Like,
And
getting people to
see, Fingersoft would
start at the
need
same
to
time,
they would
all of
need
that
to
stuff.
invest a lot of money into it to get it working and everything, to come up with the code and to invest like a lot of man hours. But I think something like that would change the game big time and would probably get interest back in the game as well,
Yeah.
because a lot of players are getting burnt out at the moment and just they're getting bored. Same old team events all over again, same old tracks and same old public events repeating each other, and and people are just getting bored.
Mm.
Would making cups into a live action mode feature like the public event, would that change the game in Fingersoft's favour?
I think it would be exciting for
It's a good
the
question.
hardcore cups players.
I think it'd be exciting for every player because you can
Yeah,
play against your
that could
mates,
be
play against
awesome.
your friends, and you can also play against
Yeah.
random players as well who are actually playing live mode. But majority of the time, I'd be inviting whoever's
Mm-hmm.
online in Discord. I would say, come, let's have a cup race. Let's go play a cup.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you can
Yeah.
play against your friends. And then not only that, if Fingersoft want to expand on that, you can have like a statistics scoreboard, like of like a records of how many cups you've won against your friends.
That could.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's so much they can do with cups. I think that they haven't changed cups in years. They've added new cups here and there. I get that. It's fine. But actually changing the dynamic, like the actual coding of the cups itself and changing the actual feature of it, they haven't touched it since the beginning of the game.
Maybe that could motivate players to play cups again, right?
Oh, 100% it will motivate. 100% it would get me. It'd get me back into playing cups for sure. I'd even play cups on my old account as well. Like it would get me right back into playing. Like if I could play live mode against my friends, it'd be awesome. There's a couple of things I want to say later about like updates and things like that that put a couple of suggestions in the Fingersoft server that I want to hopefully get across. But yeah, even if you had a choice, mate, what would you change about cups? What would you change?
Oh no, I think that live thing is a good thing. It'd be interesting to see, the ability to. I mean, now that we can add friends from the team events, it'd be interesting to see being able to add friends from teams that you're not in.
Exactly. Yep.
And a whole lot of other things as well. But look, I'm happy with the way that they're working with their updates slowly, because it means there's always going to be something coming out next, if you know what I mean. But no, it would be good. It would be good to have cups a little bit more challenging, but not a lot more challenging, and possibly slightly greater rewards for people who do more than the Trophy Road. I know there are rewards, but the rewards past Trophy Road are kind of slow. I think they need to extend the existing trophy rewards.
Yeah, let's be honest. The rewards past the Trophy Road they're not great. They're pretty minimal. It's not the best amount of coin. It's a lot of kilometers you're doing for not much rewards. Let's be honest. So it's an interesting subject because I think Fingersoft can do so much with cups. I hope they do. I hope they've got some plans down the road to change it and to revolutionize the game, to bring players back again. Because a lot of players are getting burnt out. They're getting over it and moving on to other games. So if Fingersoft don't act quickly, I think they're gonna lose a lot of people in the coming 6 months, a year or so. And I mean, there's only so many wheelie public events I could take, and I think we need something big. We need something big to happen soon. Otherwise, it's gonna impact it a bit. JR, mate, do you have any? Do you want to talk about any past team events and public events that we've had in Pete's Power public events? If you're taking over Pete's position, or so in the current team event, how do we go there? How did you go?
Actually, Team 3 is still on the Leadfoot Legends team event. I don't know with the other teams if you've moved to the new one.
Team 2 has just moved over now. We're about to finish our match now. But yeah, I think it is, what is it called?
Leadfoot Legends. The first track was a long jump. It was a beach track. You have
the beach long jump. Yep.
You break the bus.
You break the bus. So you were going overcharged turbo, fume boost, and wings.
I think Eva had the record of the farthest jump. Do you remember how many meters you reached?
Yeah, I did about 290. I just I just didn't get 10K. I think I got 9.6
I got
or
10K
9.7.
once. In all the we have 4 rounds of this event.
Oh,
So I
wow.
just got 10K once, but
Yep.
failed on the other tracks. Well, anyway, the second track was a 2 islands map
Yeah.
for either you use the rotator or the super diesel. So which one were you using?
I went super diesel.
I cannot. I haven't.
So I went to super diesel
Yeah.
with jump shocks, fume boost,
Thrusters.
and
Yeah.
thrusters, of course. Yeah.
Did you stick to rotator, Eva?
Yeah, I stuck to rotator all the way. I tried using the over method with thrusters, fume boost, and wings over the last I don't know, last match actually. Just trialing it for future reference. But I was getting 7 to 7.5K on a good run, which was a bit more repeatable using wings, coin, and afterburner.
Yeah.
I thought the diesel was just more consistent on this map. I was starting off with the rotator for the first couple of tickets, and sometimes I would just get stuck in that under section, and I'm like, nah, this is just too inconsistent for me. So I just went straight to because I remember playing this map the other time, and I didn't really have upgraded Super Jeep parts, but this time I did. Like back Super Jeep all the way. So. Diesel, super diesel, and I was getting 10K pretty much every single time,
that's nice.
or close to.
That's nice.
Yeah, me and Greeny were fighting it out in Team 2, and I think he got me the times. So did Gal, Galactic. He's listening, but Greeny, shout out to you, mate. Well done. But I had you going there for a bit.
And then the next track
one?
was an uphill climb with a hot rod using the magnet, coin boost, and fuel boost.
I started hating this one. I started hating it,
Yeah.
And towards the end of the event, I was like loving it, like my favorite map.
It wasn't so hard that on the track.
I just once I knew the line, I was like, yeah, I was getting 20, 24, 25 seconds every single time. So yeah, I loved this track towards the end. I hated it at the start. How funny is that?
My first ticket, I got 9.7K.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Blind.
Yeah.
Just walked in, went bang, 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 and then spent probably 4 or 5 tickets trying to do it again, and then found the line, and it just got into a group, got into a rhythm.
When you go up that last bit, you don't want to accelerate too far up because you'll go too high and you'll lose a lot of time. So I was getting used to that, not going up too fast. We can just skip track 4 altogether and move on to the next one.
Yeah, fast forward.
Oh, the dreaded winter really good. God, shoot me now.
That's a make or break, I think.
My best score was 34K. If I could do the wheelie, I'd be up 38, 39K. Well, probably not 39 because that's just too elite. That's storm level. But yeah, I'd be 37, 38K because the previous 3 maps I was loving. I was getting pretty good times with. But the wheelie, I just could not wheelie the rotator at all. Yeah, very painful.
So is Eva. He got the highest score for 4 rounds. He got 34K. He's at 34K at the moment.
Super Diesel Eva?
Yeah, I was doing Super Diesel, 10K on the last one, easy.
Yeah.
And when I say easy, I mean I did it once across every event. But you got to remember that I won't do the diesel run unless I've gotten to that point and I've got a reasonable score. So if I stuff up track 2, I won't continue. So I probably did only I'd do 5 or 6 attempts across the wheelie over a whole event.
Oh, yeah, Yeah, it was the wheelie with the rotator. It was just oh geez, I don't know what to say. It was just frustrating. For the ones that were doing rotator, I just couldn't get the tunes right. I was struggling. It was it was quite painful. But I mean, that's the price you pay for using the Super Diesel on track 2, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you were saying you were getting 10k on track 2.
Well, not every time. I was getting in the 9s, but
Yeah.
I've got a couple of 10Ks. Yeah.
Well, I was getting 7.5 on track 2, and if I did.
So the coming team event is called Reunion Tour, and the first track is Crushing Through, and the suggested vehicle was I think it's the Lowrider. We haven't tried it yet. And then the next track is Time Attack track with the tractor. And the next track is a long jump with the Hill Climb Mark II. And the last track is a Time Attack with the Rally Car, which is a 2-kilometer track, which I like.
I've seen Vershak's video for this, and
Yeah.
those are the exact same vehicles he's using for those tracks. I'll probably start off the
Yeah.
tickets with those vehicles as well. I've been practicing track 2 today for a little bit, and getting 16 seconds, so that's probably about 6-7k. So hopefully want to improve on that one a little bit. Yeah, it's not easy because you got to time the jump shock line to get over the wheels.
Yeah, track 2 for that is the one that I had a world record for 3 hours with the motor.
Whoa!
That's rock and roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had it for 3 hours.
With what vehicle, Eva?
With the motocross. And it was basically a very similar regime to what he's just done, but I wasn't using jump shocks. I was losing landing boost, wings, and fuel boost. So you basically roll over the edge, land on the landing boost just before the fuel, grab the fuel, and that would shoot you over the wheels.
Over the wheels. Yeah.
And into that little spot where you'd then land properly. So,
Yep.
That
was part of the daily comp, was it?
It was.
That record.
It was, and then it got beaten over the night by 3 or 4 people that weren't in our daily comp, which was really bizarre.
There you go.
Yeah.
You might have to get that one back, mate.
Nah, well, the motocross isn't in this. The motocross isn't in the bunch of vehicles we can use. I'm just looking at the maps now and the video. So yeah, it looks quite demanding. And the tractor doing that track is might have to.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a headache.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's more of smashing your head into the roof ache.
Track 3, JR?
Oh, the track 3 is a long jump with the Mark II.
Yes, okay.
It's a long jump track.
Mark II, that will be everyone's go-to vehicle for this one. So thrusters, jump shocks, and wings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could also use fuel boost here sometimes to get a faster approach into the ramp. But I think jump shocks, wings, thrusters for everybody else. So. And of course the 2K time trial, which is everybody's rally car, which would be landing boost, wings, and fuel boost.
So question is, would you break the bonnet before you start?
Yes, break the bonnet, but not by going backwards. Or you can do it by going backwards and doing it maybe. But there's one jump where you start off and you can. If you watch Vershak's video, he did it. And he did it at the start by going into the first ramp and tipping his car over to break the bonnet and then landing back down again.
Yep.
So if you can master that saves you time rather than reversing and breaking it that way. But yes, breaking the bonnet will give you it'll increase it'll decrease your time. I think it just gives you better airflow through the air.
Yep.
What I'm intrigued in this team event is the use of the lowrider for crashing through, because we usually use the monster truck or the rally car. So this time we're going to use the lowrider. So
I think the low
I
rider
don't know if
is quick enough. It's quick enough to get a good decent score. Vershak got 7.8 seconds or something with the low rider. So I think it's. I mean, but that's Vershak though. I mean, not everybody's Vershak.
yeah,
So, but
yeah.
I mean, look, I mean, if you can like land the vehicle correctly and hit your spots, I think if you don't die with the boxes as well, I think you can get a good score with it.
Well, it's interesting because the second round of boxes have got a fuel can in there, and the fuel can moves depending on how you start, I think.
Yeah, I think it does. True.
Interesting.
Oh well. Do we have time for public events? We had a wheelie event recently.
Yeah, let's really not talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's really not really talk about it too much. I mean, it was just a standard event that
Yeah.
everybody knows about. I mean, we all have done it before.
And I think you had a mini flash mob last night.
Yeah,
Did you?
I jumped on a couple of times. That was nice. I was
Yeah.
on my old,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was fun. I think about 5, 6, 7 people were on, which was good. It's always good to see.
Yeah. That's a good start.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite is the mines track, because you can, you use the buggy for that. You could, if you don't crash or you don't land, you could get easily 1700, 1800 meters.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good one, that one.
Yes.
I think it's probably time to get our guest in. What do you reckon, guys? I think he's been waiting very patiently. Sorry, HWA, mate. We've been yapping on, but that's what a podcast is, I guess. Should we get him in?
Yeah, I think we should, and Dabell
And
as well.
Dabell, of course, we'll get Dabell and HWA in. Guys, I want to welcome HWA to the podcast. He is the leader of LTR, which is Love to Race, who not recently, but they joined our community as an affiliate team some probably 6 months ago. I think you can correct me on that later. He is the leader of the team. He is a team leader in our Discord server. He is a great all-round person in real life. I've met you a couple of times, and I love sharing a beer with you. A fantastic person, to very friendly, a huge chili lover, which we're going to get right into that later on. HWA, welcome to the AUSNZ Community Podcast, and it is a pleasure to have you. And also, welcome Dabell. Dabell is a massive player in our server. He is a very popular person, and welcome, guys, to the podcast.
Thank you.
HWA, welcome, mate.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast, inviting me over here. It's a pleasure. Hello, Eva, and hello, Jack Rabbit, JR. I really thoroughly enjoyed your podcast the last podcast, and you're live on here now. So like those silly questions you can ask me
Yeah.
live rather than.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening to my episode. And now it's your turn, and I could finally get to know you more. And
Thank
welcome
you
to the
very much,
podcast.
guys, for having me on.
Well, thanks for having me on your team. Like, I was on LTR with my Bolt for a while. I really enjoyed it. It was great racing with you. It was great chatting about the team events and all that sort of stuff. It was good to get to know you and Bell, both of you, and Obsidian as well. It's great to have you on, and it's great to chat. So look forward to hearing a bit more about you.
And thank you for all your photo comps and the inspiration that you give on that photo channel. I haven't been there as often as I used to initially when I joined, but you're fantastic. You're a pro. I mean,
you're too kind. You're too kind.
Mate, do you want to basically just tell us a little bit about yourself, little history about your HCR2 career, and of course what everybody wants to know, which is probably a couple of questions down the track, which I'll ask now to get out of the way, is can we explain what HWA stands for?
Okay, so do I start with that, or do I start with just an intro first?
Yeah, let's do an intro, and then we'll get into some HCR2, and then we'll go to what HWA is.
So I'm HWA. This is my in-game name. It's also my name for a lot of other games that I play or used to play when I was a lot younger. I'm the leader of Love to Race, which used to be an independent team, but thanks to Goose, who's probably listening to us now, who managed to convince me after a few times to join the AUSNZ community. And after joining and the experience I've had, I really enjoy the AUSNZ community, and really happy that made that decision to join AUSNZ. So LTR, I think there's a couple of questions on cats, so I don't want to get mixed up with cats because I don't want to really give cats a promotion or any kind of time here. But I'll talk about cats a bit later because there's questions on that. But I set up a team which is Love to Race back in around August 2019. There's a few players who are still in the team, as Icy Lord and Winey, and we were fairly small at the time. We sort of reached 25 players, and that's when Goose came over onto our Discord server. We had our own Discord server, and was exploring the idea of joining AUSNZ. And after a few tries, and with the advent of leagues, I thought, okay, well, it might be a good idea, and let's give it a try. And here we are. You mentioned 6 months, but in fact we joined on the 9th of June 21. So it's been a year and
really hasn't been that long. I did not. Wow, there you go. Time just goes quick, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like that's just. It feels like yesterday that you guys joined the community, to be honest. But yeah, wow, it's been about a year.
Over a year.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And
wow,
yeah.
It's since you've joined the community, like it's been wonderful. Like we've had like a lot of some of your team, sharing their talk in the general channel and get involved, and then I think, to be honest, you've been the most successful affiliation team to come into AUSNZ. When we had Rejects, of course, but I mean Rejects turned into Team 4 along with Hooligans, but LTR has been a huge success, and this is the reason why we started AUSNZ, for things like this, like to get people into the community, to race together, have fun, to be a part of something that's awesome. Yes. And you and your team have just fitted in perfectly, mate, and can't thank you enough. And it's been a great partnership.
It's really a pleasure being in the community, and all the all the players. It's really fun, especially with the dailies. There's a few questions here and there from Jack Rabbit and a few others that we'll get to, but it's really a pleasure to be part of AUSNZ. I'm really happy with the way the setup has worked, and yeah, I'm looking forward to more time, more years within the community. Hopefully.
Absolutely, mate. So tell us a little bit about yourself, HWA, where you're from, just what do you do and everything outside of HCR2,
sure.
mate?
Where am I from? Maybe I don't know. I'm currently or live in Sydney, but originally from. Maybe we can leave that and let people guess to figure out from my accent where am I from. Maybe I don't know. Is that a good idea?
That idea. That's a good idea. Yep.
Okay. So in terms of age, I suppose some know here how old am I, but if we're allowed to say if we're under 13.
Well, we can say. Well, what's the category? You're a Gen X or a baby boomer? Is that the term?
I suppose I just passed baby boomer. But to those who don't know me, they're probably shocked to know that I'm 55. So I don't know.
I did not recognise you as a 50 when I first met you, mate. I thought you were roughly about the same age as myself. Didn't think you were 55 at all.
So I'm not sure where I rank in terms of the seniority in this in the community.
Absolutely, no, you are, mate. You're a team leader in the community. So, look, we've been looking forward to having you on for a while, and I remember speaking to you at our meetups that we will have you on, and well, here we are.
And
so, which.
Yeah.
Go on,
so another thing that a lot of people will be surprised with is that I've got 4 kids, and I'll go through their ages just quickly. 25 is my eldest. My second is 21. My third is 17, and my youngest is 13. So a very wide gap between them, but yeah.
Do they play HCR2? That is the question.
No.
None of them play HCR2.
No.
Wow, there you go.
I don't know. They when we get to the question about cats, they 2 of them played cats early on and they left. But and they were younger at that time, and usually what I find with kids, and I know there's a lot of kids listening, or would be listening, obviously, is that they tend to jump from one game to the other fairly quickly, and like they get bored from a game and they go to another game and so on and so forth. And that's what I found. With HCR, one of my kids was playing on Adventure, helping me on Adventure. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but that's.
Don't worry.
But that's,
we'll just edit that one out later. We didn't hear nothing.
That's the extent of it, really. None of them actually play, but we all play the F1 sort of series of games, and we all play the Gran Turismo series of games on the PlayStation. And I must admit that up until, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was very competitive and hardly beaten by any of them. And sadly, 5 years later, pretty much they all beat me now on Gran Turismo.
Well, you know how to fix that, don't you?
Get younger.
You know how to fix them beating you, don't you?
What, bribing them?
I was going to say not paying them like allowances.
Yeah, the 25-year-old now.
Oh, the 25-year-old. Yeah. Take him out the wheel.
Oh yes, that's a good idea.
Just say, look, if you beat me in that Porsche, I will take you out the wheel. It's
but
that simple.
Physically,
You know?
I also do a lot of karting. So and I've been doing karting since I was like in my uni days. And doing karting, they still cannot beat me. So there's something with the virtual, that's a lot easier for them. It gives them that confidence, maybe, or whatever. But when you actually go onto a physical and actual track, they still can't beat me. I've been to with them to many karting tracks. Obviously, Eastern Creek is the most popular one.
I was just about to say, when are we going to Eastern Creek?
I don't know. In fact, tomorrow. I'm taking my kids over to this new. Well, it's not new, but it's a karting place that I haven't been to, which is Indy 500 or Indy 800. Near.
Is that the one in Banks? It's the one in Bankstown, is it?
It's the one near Windsor.
Yes, I've heard of this one. I've not been there, obviously, but I've heard of it.
So I'm gonna go there and check it out. But my favorite track is the one in Phillip Island. I really love that.
Phillip Island.
Yeah, it is.
I love. Phillip Island's track is. Are you talking about the actual Phillip Island track, or was there another
the go-kart track that mimics the actual track?
Oh,
it sort of mimics.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's the best. I've been to tracks in New Zealand. I've been to tracks in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. I've been to like a few go-karting tracks, all over the world, and that one is the one that impressed me most. It's just.
Well, Phillip Island itself is an amazing track.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Phillip Island. Phillip Island racing circuit is just incredible. It's one of my. It's probably my second favorite circuit to Bathurst.
Yeah. But in other sad news, you know that Wakefield Park is going to be shut down.
Wakefield's Goulburn.
Yeah.
So Wakefield, I heard about Wakefield. Yeah, no, that's very, very sad.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of history at that track.
Yeah. Well, I know a couple of the guys that run the track days out there. They're friends on Facebook that I've known for years, and they've been having issues with the council about noise and all that sort of stuff, and they've now been told that they can only operate 4 days a month with noise. So
Oran Park shut down about 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's now a housing estate.
That's a housing estate there. Yeah, it's actually the actual suburb is called Oran Park, obviously, for obvious reasons. And there's streets named after famous racing drivers.
Yeah, racing drivers.
Yeah.
Oran Park was one of my favourite places to photograph.
Oh, okay.
It just had atmosphere, it had curves, it had hills. I mean, much like Phillip Island, but it was majestic because as a spectator you could get close to the action. And
you could.
You didn't need to be you didn't need to be in a big stand or anything like that. You could get close to the action.
Because you're right, you could get right up on the fence at Oran Park.
Yeah.
You can get real close.
I used to get peppered by the gravel trap box when cars would go off. And I could see it coming, like I could see the stones coming. So I would turn away from the stones, and then I'd be facing people who had no idea why the photographer was looking at them. And then they saw the stones come at them, and they realized with horror, like, so it was just one of those tracks. It was majestic and beautiful, and it was lovely to drive on. And I loved photographing there because you could get really close to the action without being on the cars, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Sorry, we digress.
Yeah.
Can I quickly introduce Dabell, because I played with him on LTR. He's an amazing guy, and I just wanted to be the one to introduce him. I know you usually do GDR, but I wanted to do.
No. Please, by all means, mate, go for it. I love it. Thank you.
I'll do that now. Welcome to the show, Dabell. This has been a long time coming, and I wanted to say I really appreciate you as a person, you as a player. You've helped me a lot with some of my Venture Stars, probably a couple of 100,000 by now. It's been a long time coming, and I really want to welcome you to the show. So, mate, say hello.
Hello, I guess. I'm Dabell.
Welcome, mate. Welcome. Tell us a bit about your history and the game, and how long you've been playing, and, like, most importantly, all those bloody stars.
I actually started on the first game, HillClimb Racing 1. Yeah. After playing that for quite some time with not many very good records, I switched to the second game, just messing around with a bit of time trial, stuff like that, learning how to play jump shocks.
Yep.
That was actually on my iPad, which is quite old, so I don't really play that anymore because the game crashes a lot.
Yep.
And now I obviously have my Dabell, which conveniently a YouTuber started a new account, like an adventure YouTuber started a new account at the exact same time as me, so I sort of like tried to do exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Have you got many YouTube subscribers yet?
After 350, I think. I'll have a look now.
Well, what we can do is we can put a link in our post when we post up this podcast for your channel, and you'll get some more followers. Hopefully, get some more followers.
Yeah.
Not saying that everybody that listens to us will follow you straight away, but I hope they will, because yeah, you've helped me a lot with adventure. You've given me some motivation.
Yeah, I've got 351 subscribers. My most viewed video is my Moonlander world record in mines with 14,000 views.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And the total channel views is 53,439 currently.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So well done to you, mate. I should probably work on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother podcast. So tell us a bit about HCR1. Did you ever use that bloody what was the most
Moonlander?
useless car on HCR1?
I don't know. I barely even play it anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, it's surprising they're still releasing new cars, new tracks, and all that sort of stuff for HCR1. So hopefully that means they'll do that for HCR2 when they release a new game. So now you're still at school.
Yes.
So how do you balance school life and HCR2 life, considering you have over 3 million stars?
So most of my stars come from when I'm actually on school holidays, because at this point it is becoming very hard to get stars. I have to play for multiple hours to get a few thousand stars.
Yep.
So
And go on. Sorry.
Yeah. On normal school weeks, I basically only play much on the weekend, just maybe some tournament stuff during the week, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Team event, obviously.
Yep. Well, I had the privilege of playing on LTR with you.
Yes.
And it was always good. That was my alt as the alt was building, and yeah, it was great. Seeing your lines, seeing all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was good to be on the team with you and with HWA, and Obsidian. Obsidian's lines and tactics were amazing, just really amazing. So yeah. What can you give people as advice who want to get building their stars?
Well, first of all, my first aim when I was playing Adventure is obviously get as many 10Ks in Forest as possible. And then I moved on to getting 100K in every map. And just build from there.
Build from there? Okay. So do you, when you're trying to build stars, were you concentrating on one map with every vehicle, or were you concentrating on every map with the same vehicle?
Well, I guess I just gone and picked something that was the easiest to get stars. Like, I don't know.
Interesting. Because what I've been doing, which isn't really a reflection on how to get stars, because I don't have that many, but is I'll start with I'll find the track with the least amount, and then find the vehicle with the least amount, and then try and do more with that vehicle. And then once I do or don't, I then move to the next vehicle with the least amount. So I'm getting the most stars I can for the shortest amount of time playing the game, but I'm also then learning the track slowly with that vehicle. And then hopefully that transposes to the next vehicle I use. So I usually attack a track at a time with different vehicles. What I'm trying to get
most of adventure is actually learning the map. Vehicle skill, only gets you so far. Map knowledge is very important.
Yep. Okay. And map knowledge comes down to things like traps and getting out of, being able to get out of places, being able to get over ledges and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like most of my knowledge of maps has come from playing it and also watching many YouTube videos of the game.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's interesting. So, yeah, I didn't think that you would be watching other videos, but that makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, so when I was actually learning the maps, that's where a lot of my knowledge came from. Like, I was watching people get 10Ks with like the just rally car and stuff, and then like using that on us.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that opens my eyes a fair bit more. I need to start watching more YouTube videos. I suppose here's a chance, an opportunity for you to maybe, shout out to some of your favorite players and some of your favorite YouTube channels.
So most of the channels I watch is Zoro, like all the really pro players. The one that actually got me started on adventure has actually quit YouTube. Bill Gaming 15.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very sad that he quit the game, but he was an insanely good player. He had 2.5 mil stars with 4,500 garage power, and that was before Gloomvale was released.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Because every new track now will add another
at least 150. Yeah, at least 150k, depending on how good the track is.
Yeah. So, but a maximum of like 220, 230,000.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Very interesting. And any players you want to shout out to?
Obviously Trekkie and Obsidian. Trekkie, I've had some history with adventure. He shows me a screenshot of his record, and I go and beat it 5 minutes later, and then he gets angry. But oh well. Yeah, we always have some friendly competition.
Yep.
And obviously Obsidian, he's been with me basically since the start of my journey on this account. We've been together in LTR, played many team events, had many good conversations on Discord.
I'm part of that channel. I occasionally mute it.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I suppose, was there anything else you wanted to say? Anything else you wanted to chat about?
I guess maybe the Lowrider and the new map Overspill Fun Rig.
Yep.
So the Lowrider, it is not very good sometimes. I have maxed my tunes out for it, and I've spent quite a lot of scrap on the landing boost because I want to get good distances with it.
Yep.
So my landing boost is level 5 now for it, and wings 13.
Mm-hmm.
I've mostly upgraded that for Overspill Fun Rig because I want to pass a very hard spot, which is 8.6k.
Yep.
Overspill Fun Rig is actually my favorite map in the game. I will check my current stars right now. I think it's around 218k on it.
Wow.
And
I'm not even going to check mine because it's now that you say that, I'm going to turn mine on as well because Okay.
And my personal
Overspill.
best at Overspill Fun Rig is 22,212 meters.
On with which car?
CCEV. Yeah, obviously the easiest way to get stars in adventure is play all the vehicles you haven't played before.
Yeah, of course. No. I'm like, oh my god, that's cavernous. Holy crap! 22,000 meters.
Yeah. I obviously want to improve it though.
Yep. So tell me, there was talk of like the maps repeating themselves.
Yes. Overspill Fun Rig technically does repeat itself, but in an odd way. The main obstacles after 10k, after 11k, it basically starts from 0 again, but there's like bigger distances between the major obstacles.
Oh, okay.
And then at 22k, the map just sort of changes and becomes like different forever.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that makes it even harder. And obviously, you can see an obstacle coming up, and you know how to overcome it. So
yes, I've memorized Overspill Fun Rig to 22k, but
yep.
There's a very hard spot there where you have to be on the cart with no fuel and pass it. That's where I failed. I actually there's a fuel where you have to collect on the cart, which is below you.
Yep.
And I missed the fuel, so
oh damn. Oh damn. Okay.
You have to be on the exact right spot on the carts to collect it.
Noted. When I get there one day.
Maybe get 10k first.
Yeah, or maybe get past that obstacle at 3.8 or something, whatever it is. There's those 3 ships in a row that have caught me.
Oh, that's 3k.
Yeah, that's 3k. I've been smashed by those in every single conceivable direction you can imagine. Do they even slow down?
Yeah, I've stopped them before and I just couldn't move.
Yeah. I realise they slow down because they don't go as high on the second swing, and then from there on they just get worse, and it's like, oh shit. So yeah, no, noted. I will keep an eye out at 22k, at 10k at least. So, no, that's great. That's awesome.
I've actually got some stats here for you. Sorry to end the.
No, that's all right.
So, in adventure, I have 163 10Ks.
163 10Ks. Okay.
Yes, I've got a graph here.
Awesome.
And in Overspill Fun Rig, I have 9 10Ks. Just thought that would interest you.
Wow.
Yeah, along with obviously desert and forest, every vehicle 10k.
Yep.
Moonlander is a bit painful on desert, and Lowrider.
Yep.
My least 10k map is Glacier, which is only 1 rally car.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a really tough map, to be honest.
There's this annoying wind at 8.4k that basically pushes you back constantly.
Yep.
And it's hard with most cars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So, we've got your most, we've got your least. Any other stats?
I did a count a while back that in adventure I had 200 and something Australia records, and Trekkie had most of the other ones.
Wow.
And that's out of 450, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool. And of course, that seesaws on a daily, weekly basis when you poke each other and go, "Hey, I just beat you."
Yeah.
Oh well. Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so yeah, mate. Wow, awesome. Thanks to Bells awesome to have you on the podcast, mate. And hey, HWA, yeah, let's get stuck into it, mate. JR, anything you want to say to HWA and Dabell while we're here?
Oh, yeah. So, HWA and I had a bit of interaction through the Leaders Channel at some point because there were uh, kids or young stars who joined AUSNZ and how to handle them, how to manage them. So, I learned a bit or two from him. So it was nice chatting to you, and hopefully learning more about
Absolutely,
you through this
JR. It's a
podcast.
pleasure. And look, I mean, as I mentioned on multiple occasions, just observing what you have been doing with AUSNZ 3 is just really impressive. The community is really lucky to have you with us. So, I mean, you're just phenomenal in terms of the effort that you put and the organization. It's really impressive.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you.
Good to have both of you, to be honest. If I'm speaking on behalf of the community, we're lucky to have you both. Okay, Chile, HWA. Now, you are an avid chili lover. And on our last meetup, you brought some samples in for me, and I almost died.
I should have taken a photo of that. Yeah.
I was, oh, Jesus, boy, I'm very lucky you didn't. You are an avid chili lover, and I really thought I could handle my chili.
Yes, I
do
recall
chili.
that vividly, and you were very confident, saying, yeah, sure.
I, I was super confident. I was like, let's get stuck into it. Give it to me. I'm gonna down it. Let's do it. And I tell you what, I regretted it straight away.
Did you
No.
eat a spoonful?
No,
That much?
I literally had a speck. It was pretty much like the size of I don't know what can I compare it to? It was like a speck of grain of salt. And I tell you what, JR, it was hot. It was so bloody hot. Can I even apologize, kids? It was hot, like very, very hot, and I died. And HWA, tell our listeners exactly what type of chili that was.
So I basically grow habaneros. The hottest chilies in the world are all based off the habanero species, or it's called, I think, its technical or botanical name is chili Chinese or something like that. So these are all habaneros, but then they are hotter and hotter types of habaneros that they've classified into different names, such as the Carolina Reaper, for example, which is a lot hotter than what I had because it's called a hybrid chili. They basically crossbreed two different types of chilies, and they come up with a new bubble, so to speak. I'm not too much into it in terms of this hybrid creation because it requires a lot of know-how and knowledge and expertise and all that. I just get a nice if I eat a nice habanero, I'll keep the seeds and then try to grow some one or two plants off that, and then so that's how I do it. But yeah, it's the habanero is
Yeah,
basically.
it yeah. It was quite an experience because I've tasted those chips you can buy. It's called the world's hottest chips. It's like the size of a shaped packet. And I had those and I was okay with those. Like a lot of people, you see some YouTube videos of people choking and and splattering and all that. It's like some funny YouTube videos. But I was okay with those chips, and those chips are made out of like the Carolina Reaper and a few other things. And I thought I was okay until I think the difference is because I had fresh chili. It just made a massive difference.
And just to add to those who are not really that familiar with when they eat a fresh chili, the heat actually comes from what is called the placenta, which is where the seeds hang off, the white bit. That is the hottest part of a chili. The skin gets affected by that, and then and it becomes hot, but it's not as hot. So if you are peeling a chili, cutting it off, just make sure that you avoid the white bits, which is the placenta, and then, well, that's not that you're fine, but it's not burning hot, especially if you're looking at a habanero or higher, in terms of the heat.
Wow! And would you enter yourself into a chili eating contest?
No, I eat chili for fun, for enjoyment. It's not about I want to get into a competition or anything like that. No, not at all. I would just I enjoy a bit of heat in my food. That's really all what's about.
Yeah. So do I. Every
when you say you grow chilies, how many plants do you have?
Probably around 15.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So that's a few.
Yes. Well, so I've given away at least 30 or 40 plants. So I just when I'm up to it, usually I'm back from overseas and I've got some free time, and I'll just get some seeds that I have. So I keep some seeds, I label them depending on how hot that habanero is. So I pick up some seeds. I think I'll probably answer there's a question already that you guys will ask me, but so I seed them. You know how we used to do it when we were young in the biology class, for example, when we want to grow chickpeas or peas or something like that. So you put it. So the best way to get a good success rate is to put it on a paper towel, wet that paper towel, and then put, I don't know, 10, 15 seeds on there. The wetness on the paper towel will actually cause the chili seed itself to crack open slightly. And what that happens, that helps the seed come out, the seedling. And then, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks later, you'll start to seeing these seedlings pop up. You take them out, you put them in a small pot, and what should grow, have 2 leaves, then 4 leaves, then starts growing up a bit more. And then you can move it either to a bigger pot or to a patch in the garden. Chilies require warm temperatures. They hate cold, and hence why I don't know. Again, if many people know that chilies actually, habaneros, the chili, the species, is all came from the Americas. It wasn't known anywhere else in the world until we discovered the Americas, and then it was brought back to the old world. And funny enough, the ghost pepper, which is one of the hottest chilies, is actually known to be Indian, even though it's actually a mix between 2 chilies that came from America. So it's it's fascinating to learn more. Yeah.
Wow. It is quite fascinating. I mean, for those chili lovers out there who the JR, you're a chili lover. You love all your chilies, so but yeah.
So yeah, they like normal warm temperatures. So yeah, that's why in the colder, like in Sydney, it gets cold in the winter. Not very cold, obviously, but cold for the chilies. So they don't really grow much fruit in the cold months. But in the spring, summer.
So it's mainly you grow them in the summer, basically, and they flourish in the summer.
And they're not and they last for, each plant lasts for about between 3 and 5 years. So it's neither a tree nor a tomatoes. So it's
it's more of a bush.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
3 to
More of a
5
bush.
years, and then they
Yeah.
stop. They will basically the fruit will become smaller, or it won't bring out any fruit, or it just the tree will just die. So yeah, that's why I keep on. Every year, 2 years, I'll grow a few more and see what survives. And
Are you doing any cross pollination?
No, that's for like really experts. That's where they're plants. Some like if you look through the hottest chilies, all the top ones are all hybrids. So they're not real. What they call it just evolved naturally.
I'm not talking about genetically modified. I'm talking about crossing them with putting plants that are mixed together, so then when they pollinate across from one chili bush to another, you might get a hybrid from that.
Okay. I haven't looked into that.
No,
no, not really.
my ex-father-in-law was a market gardener.
Okay.
Yeah, in Adelaide, and we used to get chilies from Darwin through summer. But we only used to get bird's eyes. We'd get probably 100 kilos a week, 150 kilos a week. Yeah, for basically from about March to about September, because there was too cold to grow in Adelaide, and we had hot houses and glass houses and stuff, but they just wouldn't get hot. The chilies wouldn't get hot, so yeah, we used to buy them from a grower in Darwin through winter.
Now, Goose wants to know: do you share your pastes or sauces? Do you make sauces?
Okay. So yes, the answer to that is absolutely. So what happens is that particularly late spring all the way to late autumn, I'll have just tons of habaneros. Literally, the trees will have, each one of them will have, I don't know. They start green, and as they ripen, they will switch to orange, and then they will go red at the like. But I can pick them up at any time, so I can pick them up green or orange or red. But I'll have, I don't know, 20 on each plant, and then I don't know what to do with them. So what I do is I would make a sauce out of them. So one way is I basically cut them and then mince them using just a mincer, like a meat mincer or and I will be wearing gloves while I'm cutting them, and I will actually, while I'm mincing, I will stop and just leave the kitchen because the fumes is so strong. I start coughing.
Your eyes will be burning.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'd have to wear some glasses.
Yeah, well, I'll wear glasses anyway. But yeah, I just leave the kitchen, open the window for a little bit, and go back in again because you can feel the fumes of the chili, and it's really hot. And because you're mincing the whole thing, so you're mincing the seeds, you're mincing the placenta and the skin. It is really, really hot. So I then put the mixture in bottles, or jars, whatever, and then top it up with olive oil. So make sure that there's like, I don't know, a 5 centimeter layer of olive oil on top of the paste, and I just keep it or give it to friends or give it to whoever. Sometimes I would take the.
Can I just interject? If I paid you a couple of $1,000, could you make sure you never gave me any?
You don't need to pay.
I was actually going to say, can you come down to Eva here to enjoy some?
What we'll do is that in our next meetup, I'll certainly bring a jar of paste and GTR can try a little bit, or you can keep it. You can have it. I can give it to you.
I will ship it off to. I'll probably get you. I'm sure Goose would be keen, mate, because he might be a bit of a chili lover. He can ship some off to Goose, and if anybody, any other AUSNZ listeners or anybody, if they want a sample, shoot HWA a message. Jack might want International Express post.
In fact, I'll say this every time, because I didn't go over what I do, but so I basically run an IT security business, and I basically jump from between Sydney and Dubai, roughly share my time over the year between the two places. And every time I go to Dubai, I take with me 2 or 3 chili jars. So they're, I don't know if you know those small IKEA jars. They're size, but yeah.
The ones with the round top on it, it's just sealed when you hop.
Yeah. So I fill these up with chili sauce and take them with me and give to friends over there, and they just love it. They just, one jar would last, I don't know, 6 months maybe, because you just put a really tiny bit on your, in mix it with your food or mix it, whichever. It's really hot. So yeah, I have lots of it. So yes.
Yeah, I'm sure that you would love a sample. You have to organise that one. Guys, okay, questions in the question channel. Eva, do you want to start it off, and we'll get as many in as we can. We're running short on a little bit of time here, but we'll get as many as we can in.
Okay, very cool. All right, there's a question from Moxie. I like Moxie. He's a really good player. Always happy to help other players and all that sort of stuff. So it's a question for Dabell. Why do you like the Moonlander so much?
Because it's Moonlander. Nah. I guess I just messed around with it for ages and then finally got a good record and said, oh, I might actually try this on other maps, and then just got better and better at it.
Yeah.
I'll actually tell you my current stats for Moonlander.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my account now.
Yep.
Distance traveled, total distance traveled, 4,342,000 meters. And just to give you an idea, I'll tell you my rally car. 4,723,000.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Moonlander has more distance than rally car.
Yeah, well, let's do the same. Okay. My rally car, this is my main account. Okay, my Moonlander, 1.1 million meters, 1.16 million meters. So that's 4 times less. Rally car's just above it, 12.45 million meters.
You've been playing for a bit longer than me.
Yeah, I have. But you'll be surprised, I have been doing a whole lot of Ks with the banana. I've done 2.46 million meters with the banana.
I'll check mine. Only 1.5.
Yeah, okay. But I've been doing I did a lot of cups with the banana after it came out. To learn how to use it. I did a whole month.
Yep. Okay. JR, you got a question for HWA?
Yeah. Yes, I have my own question for him, which I will say it. So, HWA has been known in the server as a monowheel, a monowheel, a monowheel competitor, or how do you say
Monoman.
Monoman? Okay. So my question is, on the scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how competitive are you in time attacks, specifically in beating Larrican's ass on his time attack records?
Okay. Is there a continuation to that question, or that's it?
Yeah, that's my question. That's my first question.
Okay. So I'm when it comes to games, I'm ultra competitive. No matter what, I think I take it a bit too seriously, to be honest, and I'm very competitive. as long as it doesn't have jump sticks or jump shocks, whichever way you guys call it. I will give it a real go. And recently, my account has a fair bit of maxed parts, so I feel that I can actually, like I'm not limited by, a level 3 thruster or a level 3 turbo boost or whatever it is. So I'm very competitive. So I would give it a 10. With Larry particularly, we go a long way back. In fact, before joining AUSNZ, I had my own Discord server, and I think I would imagine that Goose invited Larry over, and that was back in April of 21, before we joined AUSNZ. And then we became friends in game, and we exchanged lots of challenges. And I actually ran. You mentioned earlier you had 34,000. I had something like I didn't get to that high because I don't use my gems. I never open chest with gems except when there's one and I need to go to sleep or something. I'll use one gem or something, and then so I can open a 6-hour one or whatever, 8-hour. But when it comes to challenges, I use them all. Just trying to beat larrikins. It's great. We sort of eased off that a little bit now. We share challenges, but not as often as we used to. In the past, we used to just almost every day share a challenge. On the mono, I don't know. I hated it. I really hated it initially. I could not. I just said, why do they even have this vehicle in game? And gradually I got the hang of it, and I found out that it's such a precise vehicle that it's really challenging to keep it straight, or not necessarily straight, just avoid killing yourself. I don't know. I guess given that even though it has jump shocks, they're rarely used on the mono wheel, and if there's an event or a time trial that is best using a jump shock, I'm horrible. I can't do it. But anything else, I'm doing really well, I think. And recently with the July competition and the August competition, whatever it's called now, I've been sort of trying to go through what is the daily race, use that track, use the mono wheel, and try to beat the best time that's the Oz record. And I've been sort of reasonably successful at it, so which is
continuing on from you're talking about the mono wheel. The king himself, Daspo, has a question for you. He says, you are a sensational competitor in mono wars. That's high praise coming from the legend himself. What made you join, and how has it helped your HCR2 skill set? From Daspo.
First of all, thanks for the question, Daspo. You are an inspiration. Though I try to follow your lines when you on daily challenges, and it's just amazing. And you do it with such ease. For me, it's just like I take probably 50 goes until I get even close to the lines that you're doing. I'm not sure. I can't remember really who introduced me to mono wars, but when I joined, my mono wheel was pretty much hopeless. Level 2s maybe with the necessary parts like the wings or the turbo or the coin boost and the fuel boost, obviously. But I think I've joined in season 2 and season 3, and I've significantly improved. And I can't wait for the new season to start. I know you've made an announcement about it, and I'm hoping that you start it soon, because I'm looking forward to it when I have finally managed to max all the parts except the jump shocks, obviously. But yeah, everything else is maxed, and I'm really looking forward to that. In terms of how it helped my gameplay, Look, the monowheel is such a precise vehicle that it really helps me with the other vehicles in terms of, I guess, control and how to attack a track and how to get a better time. That's really what I think that the mono has helped, because it's so easy to die on with the mono wheel compared to any other vehicle.
It's a vehicle I haven't mastered yet. I've mastered a few vehicles, but that is one vehicle I rarely use. I just plain and simple don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't get used to it. I get frustrated. I can't do it, mate.
What I find fascinating with it is the ability and how you play with the two tunes. I mean, the first two tunes are just, they're always maxed, obviously, but the stability and the air control and how that changes significantly the way the mono wheel goes, especially if you have wings on and you play with the air control. It impacts the way it goes, impacts how easy you can bounce it off things, or it can die very quickly. So it's fascinating as you learn all that and play with those tunes. It's one of those vehicles that a lot of the tracks you don't go max. You can even go 1-1 sometimes on some of the tracks, and you still get a very decent time or record.
Few vehicles in HCR2 that I despise: mono wheel, it's tractor. I just can't do it.
Well,
I
think sometimes you've hit the nail on the head. Sometimes 1-1 is good because you can hold the throttle down on the mono wheel, and when you get those slight bits off the ground, you won't tip forward.
Yes.
Right? So, because that's the thing, as soon as you're off the ground, you've basically got to stop accelerating. That's the trick with the mono wheel. And if you're not young and very quick to react to you being off the ground, you can basically very quickly, bang your head on something. So a couple of the fast times I've done with the mono wheel, you end up hitting a fuel boost or something like that, which shoots you off, and you basically let go of the controls.
Absolutely.
And also that the landings frustrate me. So if I'm on the mono wheel and I'm in the air, I go to land and I just always face plant or backwards. I don't know, the landing really kills it for me. I could never really get a clean run.
Yeah, you're gonna try to be as soft as you can, but again, stability. Your stability setting and your air control is a big factor in that as well.
Yep.
Even mate, this you got another one for Dabell or HWA?
Okay, one more question from AUSNZ Pete. Are you actually a bell?
No. Bells don't have thumbs.
Bells don't have thumbs. Well, neither does Brobot. And there's one from Lunatic NZ. Dabell, what is your thoughts on Lego, and what is your favourite Lego set?
Lego. I could talk about this for literally ages. I've got thousands of dollars worth of Lego.
Oh, wow.
Yes. My favorite Lego set, it's a Lego art. It's Darth Vader.
Yep.
It's I'll see if I can get even to put a picture in the podcast.
Yep.
You'll be able to do that?
I think, what's his name? GDR can put it in the YouTube version, but not in the...
Yeah.
Actually, you've shown me this Lego art. This is amazing. Yeah, you've sent me a picture of this Lego art. When you originally told me about it, I thought it was 3-dimensional, Darth Vader, but instead it's almost a flat 2-dimensional version of Darth Vader with lots of little square pieces. And I thought, oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah, it is quite cool.
And it is quite cool. So you build that, you buy it as a kit and build it.
So the actual set, there's like, it's a smaller one, but there's at the end of the instructions, there's this like picture of it, and you go online, and there's like the instructions to build the big one. You need 3 of the sets to build it, and yeah, I had to have it. So $400 later.
I know that feeling of had to have it. You know, bought a car, need something. Oh, I have to have that part. I just have to have that part. Yeah. Or camera bag. Oh, I don't need a macro lens, but I have to have one.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. And those Lego sets, the 2D art that you were showing me was amazing, and hopefully we can get a picture of it up because it's very cool, very, very cool. Oh, I remember my Lego set when I was a kid. It was a bag full of just pieces, and instead of having to build something from a set of instructions, it was basically I built stuff out of my head.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I've done that like with a couple things. Like I've got a big box of it, like just built some cool stuff. I'll be able to send you a couple pictures later.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, no, I just had lots of bricks. That was it. And the bricks were all rectangular, all square. That was it. So yeah, it was, and I think I had 4 wheels. That was it. Like, and everything I made was a car or car related. So yeah, oh geez, those were the days. That was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, that was very, very interesting. Kanaki, excellent. JR, you got another one for our guest HWA.
Yes, this question is from Creepers. Shout out to Creepers. His question is, do you have any tips or advice for successfully running a team?
That's a very good question. And yes, I will try. In order to run a team successfully, you really need to have a lot of time. Because you need to put a lot of effort in making sure that the team is running smoothly and running well. So you need to have time. You need to have patience. A lot of times you'll face people who want things from you or want you to do certain things, and you need to be able to manage that. You need to be able to address that in a way that others don't get annoyed, and the person gets satisfied as well. So it's a bit of a diplomatic skill that you need to be able to do. You need to be fair as well when you treat all the players. So you can't show favoritism to a certain player, for example. You need to be consistent in what you do in terms of the decisions, because that will make people enjoy being with the team. That will make people look up to you and to be part of the team that you have. You need to be able to define or clearly make it clear to everyone what the rules are for your team. So if you have a minimum Ks, if everybody must join a team event, etc. Try to make the rules as simple as possible, so that it doesn't confuse everybody, but also be clear about the rules. Engage with your players. If you engage with your players, encourage them, congratulate them if they did a good score in the TE, for example. If they put in 500 Ks, just keep that positivity. But at the same time, if a player misses out on a TE, for example, and your team lost because of that, then you'll need to be able to remind them that they need to join the event. And if they keep doing it, you have to get rid of them. Yeah. So you need to.
Or start sending them a DM.
You do that, but in the end, unfortunately, sometimes you get in a situation where you find players almost they intend not to play the TE. They will go into the TE but don't put a score, two times in a row, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
what, to just collect the reward. That's a bit,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So you need to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to manage that. Give attention to the players, and a classic example of mine is, for example, sometimes you get, because HDR is a global game, we get a Chinese player, a Japanese player, and
Yeah.
even their name is in their language, and you don't know what to tell them, because you don't know what this is, just some characters. So what I do is I actually
Mhm.
take a screenshot and go into Google
Mhm.
Translate, load the image up, and read
Mm.
or try to translate the actual
Mhm.
characters if it's Japanese, and Google will tell me, oh, it's
Yeah.
what it sounds like. Then I will actually
Yeah.
welcome them in English, and then do a translation
Mhm.
using Google and copy that and paste it into the chat, saying, welcome to the team. What would you like us to call you? Something like that. So you give them a bit of attention. And obviously, that I'm just giving an example for a foreign player, but it can be the same for anything else. Somebody an interesting name, just engage.
Engage with them. Engage with them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Just going on from JR's question, Muzz also has a question in regards to teams and things like that. Muzz is currently listening in at the moment, mate.
Yes.
So massive
Oh,
shout out
nice.
to you, Muzz. Muzz says, well, just going on from the team's point of view, what would you do with a player who is in your top team event scorer? So he's your top team event scorer, but never did any more than 20 Ks per week. So he's one of your best scorers, but hardly ever contributes to the team chest. Is that more of a priority? I guess what Muzz is saying is team events more of a priority, or is the team chest more of a priority?
Look, the first thing I'm gonna say on this is that it really depends on what your team rules are. If your team rules are 20K a week, then there's no issue. In my team, it's 50Ks, and I've been pushed by a few players telling me that you need to go to 100Ks, but I'm resisting that. I'm sticking with 50Ks, even though we have probably 5 or 6 players who always every week go over 500. And it's really not fair to find a player who's doing 20 or 10 Ks and keep them in the team. I've been very consistent and very strict with that since day one, and it's 50K. So in terms of answering the question, Tomas, obviously you need to be a bit flexible when it comes to looking at each player and how well they contribute to the team. If they are top scoring in a TE, then you would give them a bit of leeway. You would basically, what I would do is I would go and have a chat with them. If they are on Discord, I will actually have a chat and try to understand why are they doing just low Ks. But in the end, if I've tried multiple times to try to get them to up their Ks, so maybe if I can get them to 40 Ks, maybe I can understand there's a compromise here because they're doing well in the TE, but they're not doing Ks. So 40 Ks might be some sort of a compromise that I can reach. But I also have I do have an objection of somebody doing 20 Ks because it's not fair for the others. When you have somebody putting 500 Ks,
For the team chest.
when you have somebody doing 500 Ks, I would not. It's not fair for them to feel that somebody at 20K every week is getting chest 24 or 23. So
Yes, this is my argument to Fingersoft, and I brought this up as a suggestion, saying that there should be a bonus reward for players doing over a specific amount of kilometers per team chest to those who are doing 20 kilometers. There should be a greater reward.
Sorry to burst all of your bubbles, but if a player is getting 300 points in a team event and getting those teams into the 3,000 cup points at the end of the team event regularly, and the team is going well regularly because of that player, the rewards that he's giving the team by being in the team event and top scoring every single time are going to be greater than what's in that chest for the month.
Yeah, look, I mean, I do understand that, Eva. The thing is, well, I mean, even if that player is top scoring, they're giving the team 300 points, not 3,000 points. So it's a bit.
No. But what I'm saying is they're contributing 300 points to the 3,000.
Absolutely. But at the same time, in terms of the way the game is structured, to me, and I've had this discussion with a few members of AUSNZ in the past when we first joined AUSNZ. It's called a team chest and it's called a team event. And the way the game is structured, it's from the way we play the game, it's like they're equals, or like you can't be. What's the point of being in a team if you're not contributing enough Ks
to the team? No, I agree with that.
And it's the same thing with a team event for sure. But you will have players who will do 500 Ks and not be that good in the team event. So you kick them. It's the same way the other way.
No.
So yeah. But if you have a like, why do most teams set, most competitive teams, let's say, set a certain minimum Ks for team chest?
To contribute.
Exactly. So if you have a rule in a team to set a number of Ks, then if you want to be part of that team, you have to adhere to it. And I must say, 20 Ks is, unless it's an alt.
Yeah, 20 Ks
unless
is
it's an alt.
20 Ks is nothing.
No, who would do 20 Ks if it's your main account and you're top scoring in TE? The TE itself, if you play it 2 times, that's 10 Ks probably. Especially the one that's coming up. And if a new car is coming, is coming, you need to practice on it. You need to play it. You need to do whatever it is that you're doing, and you earn Ks. So I think 20 Ks is way too low anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes I rarely play HCR2 during the week, and I just bust up 100 Ks. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I thought that I rarely play during the week. At the moment, this past week, I'm almost near 150 Ks, and I'm like, I've rarely played. So that's saying something. 20 Ks is nothing. Okay, moving on. Whose is it? I just did Muzz's question. Eva, are we back to you or the JR?
Yeah, I might ask a question to HWA. Here we go.
I can probably guess which one you're eyeing off. I'm reading it.
Are you reading it right now? So this is from Fishy with an X.
I knew it.
This is from Fishy with an X. So for you, HWA, what's it like to have a player like Dabell on your team?
I'm really happy with having Dabell on my team. So basically, Dabell came over when we joined AUSNZ, and the Outcasts, I think they were called. They came over to join LTR, and Dabell was one of them, and he remains in the team now. A lot of other players, we still have, I think, about 4 or 5 from the Outcasts who are still in LTR. A lot of them moved. Probably didn't like the way I was running the team. They moved to Black Sails. A lot of them.
For those who don't know, Outcasts were our third team at the time. That was kind of like our third team.
But Dabell joined us. He started growing his account with us. If I look at his earlier TE results, for example, he was coming, in the top 10, but at the lower end. Now he is consistently either first or second. So he's a great add to the team. Let alone mentioning that he is the top adventurer in Australia of all time. So that's something that's,
Dabell, you're a legend, mate. You are a legend. Excellent. JR, you're next. Go for it.
Yeah, there's a question here from your greatest competitor in the month. in monowheel. So it's from Larry Can. His question is: has being part of the AUSNZ community helped your gameplay?
Certainly, just having challenges with Larry is enough. Yeah, look, it's
Yeah.
definitely the experience being within the AUSNZ community helps because you can look at the various team events, the various public events. There's also the daily server, which is affiliated obviously with AUSNZ, and that's something
Yeah.
that I have, since Goose introduced me to it, I have been joining every single series in there. And I don't know what happened, but the very last series, which was the no parts, which I won, after that, nothing happened. It's been a year almost now.
Break the game.
We do have. I think the guys have a series coming up very soon.
Yeah, which is great.
Yes.
I just hope it doesn't cross with the Mono Wars because that will be annoying. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It'll be starting, I think, on the 1st or 2nd of September.
Yeah, okay. 1st or 2nd of September. So
Yep.
hopefully that doesn't clash with Mono Wars. HWA, I have a question from our good friend Bear. Big shout out to Bear. When is our next pub gathering for the New South Wales meetup, mate?
Well, you are as in GTR, you are the organizer. So you probably can answer that.
We can co-share that.
But yeah, look, if we can do something in the next couple of weeks, great. Otherwise, let's do it in because I'm gonna be overseas, and I'll be back probably around December time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if we don't see you in a few weeks, then we'll catch up after Christmas, maybe in the new year, mate. We'll have to organise something there. So we're still missing one person who is a regular, and I'm still finding hope that person will make contact with us again, but we'll have to wait and see. Awesome. Big shout out to Bear. He's an avid listener, and
absolutely.
Yeah,
And yeah, look, I mean, I enjoy time trials on the monowheel with Bear. We don't do it on challenges, but we sort of often see each other on the all-time Australian records, and yeah, it's really a lot of fun. Playing against Bear.
So I'm going to ask a question that Amy usually asks that GDR's asking this time, just to confuse me.
Absolutely. I love it.
So this is Amy's favourite question.
That's Amy's question. That's we've named it Amy's question.
We've named it Amy's question now. Okay. So
absolutely, yeah, that's it.
It's a question about who would you have on your team if you could. And unfortunately, Dabell has gone. His internet has been turned off. So he typed this just before he pinged out. He said, "Hey, just in case you ask this question, this is my answer." He said that if I could have 6 players on the team, and have these people on the team, these are the people he would have. And he's basically said Absurdian, HWA, which that's a huge impost. Considering you're already on a team with him, and Absurdian. One of his German friends, a guy called Maple Shade, he's asked for GL Fly to be on the team. Paparelix, I don't know who that is. A guy called Trekkie, some random guy, and then someone called Eva. So that's a really impressive list to be named on.
That is a great list.
I'm feeling pretty humbled by it, but I'm sure so are you, HWA, and that's I mean, Dabell in my mind is just a really amazing guy all round, amazing player as well, especially for adventure. But his team scores are getting better and better and better and better. So
I'd
love to be on a team with you, mate.
Anytime. He's doing 37 Ks at the moment with the last team event, which is really impressive.
Yep. I'd love to be on a team with you.
You're always welcome. You can come back anytime, mate. We really loved having you. Your alt, I'm talking about, but even your main. I know your main accidentally bumped into our team, but unfortunately, I had started the match. If I hadn't started the match, you probably would have stayed.
Talk about that.
Anyway, but yeah, in terms of my players, I mean, look, I mean, I really don't have, I don't go around looking for who's the best player and all that stuff. But it's important for a team to have players that can fit in the team. It's very important. And sometimes, you get players who just, that they just don't fit, and you have to part ways. They have to leave. But Dabell mentioned Absurdin, and I'll mention Absurdin again. And it's really unfortunate and sad that he's been banned. And I really would love if Fingersoft could actually tell Absurdin exactly why he was banned, because he created a second account. That account was also banned. So it's really, he's a really, really great player, and I don't believe that he's actually a cheat.
He's a good kid. Yeah, I don't know. See, the thing is, it's so hard to I mean, I'm with you on that one as well.
It's just if we know, that's all. I mean, if he knows what he did wrong, that's it. I mean, why,
Yeah. I think what's happened is he's accidentally done something incorrect in regards to, I don't know, he's done something incorrect and it's picked up on it.
I've seen.
Maybe,
yeah. Another thing I wanted to say is I've seen places or people who say that VPN is not allowed, and I haven't read that I went through the EULA and it doesn't actually say anything about VPNs. So I don't know if VPNs are not allowed or not. But when I go to Dubai, I actually have the VPN on all the time because there's a lot of restrictions, and so you run the VPN automatically. So it will be a shame that you get banned because you're running a VPN. I mean, fingers on.
Yeah, I don't think it's got anything to do with VPN. I'm not sure, mate. I really don't know.
Yes.
It is incredibly sad what happened to you.
Because I mean, he joined soon after we joined AUSNZ, and he just top scored almost every TE from then until he was banned. Now, thankfully, Trekkie has joined us, and now we have Trekkie and Dabell, who are helping the team tremendously in terms of the overall score. So those players, obviously, Dabell would be one of those to be in those six players. That's the question. Eva was with us, and would love to have him back with us as well. And yeah, I mean, these are, as I said, I don't really have look at a list of who the best players are and say like a wish list, because in the end, you would want the player to fit within the team, and that's
all about the personality of the player. Absolutely. Is that what you're getting? It's the actual person rather than their skill set.
Yes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Did we cover cats? Because there's a few questions about your cat's experience. We got a question from RF who wants to know about your cat's experience, and also a question from who was it? It was from Goose. Yeah, transitioning from cats to HCR2. So Goose and RF are wanting to know about your cats team experience.
So just a bit of background. I actually installed HCR2 back in 2017, and I played it when there was no team. Just played it on my own, nothing special. In 2018, I believe, I'm not sure, my son told me about CATS. CATS is acronym supposedly for Crash Arena Turbo Stars, and it's not a racing game, but it's two cars. You build a car with certain gadgets, and you try to beat another car with similar gadgets in some sort of an arena with a timer. That's the concept of it. Being my background is an engineer, and I really love the idea of which gadgets you're gonna fit. Some cars have 2 slots, some cars have 3 slots, and these gadgets that you fit will be able to overpower the other vehicle that's on the other side. So I started playing it and just ditched HCR completely. And I loved it so much. I built a team. I created a team and started getting people joining the team. And the game had a teams event, which it's called City Kings, where each player has like 3 vehicles, and each city has a map of different buildings, and the 2 teams compete against who has more vehicles that occupy a building. So let's say there's 10 parking spots, and in each building, one building would have 10 parking spots. So one team would have to have 6 vehicles in there, so that they can collect points from that building. The team event component of the game was so intense because you will go into the building and try to take a spot in that building, and another player from the other team would go into that spot and try to take it off of you. And it depends of how much damage your car has suffered from the initial fight and so on. So there's a lot of tactics involved. There's a lot of communication that's required on Discord. Some people use Telegram or WhatsApp or whatever, but Discord is the ideal because at the team event, we had it mandatory for all players. They must be on Discord, because when you lose a building, when the other team will have more vehicles, you would make a shout out to try to get anybody who has a vehicle that's been repaired to go back into the game. And the repair takes about 2 hours from complete dead to full health, and that's when you can actually then go in and get the try to take back the building. So it's so intense and it's continuous, and everybody has to say where their time zone is, so we know, okay, well, they're sleeping now, so we can't actually bother them, but when they wake up, they have to go, and their vehicles have been repaired, and they have to go in. And players will be saying building A has weak vehicles, building B has stronger vehicles, so avoid that one, let them go and let them keep that building, but let's get this building so we can balance the points. It was
communication is the key.
Yes, absolutely. So it was
Sounds interesting.
It's a very interesting game, but it was very intense, very stressful. I lasted 4 seasons, and the seasons there, by the way, is not monthly like HCR. It's sort of like every 3 months is a season. So I lasted 4 seasons. Yeah,
wow.
I lasted 4 seasons. The peak for the team was 27th globally. And
oh, geez, wow,
yeah, and it was really fun. I made lots of friends from CATS, but then time came that I just cannot. You just have to be continuously monitoring the game. If you lose a building, you got to go and back into Discord and telling people, hey, why aren't you back? Do you have any cars alive? Go back. It's just so stressful that I said no.
So it's time consuming as well. It takes up a lot of time.
And I said no, I'm not going to be able to continue this, and we disbanded. We disbanded.
Fair enough.
And then I basically picked up HCR again, and that was, I think, as I said, August 21, and that's when I saw, a nice surprise. There's a team event now. Oh, wow, okay. So that's when I started the team. And there's no comparison. And Goose's question that, how different or how...
transitioning
Yeah.
from HCR
Look,
to...
I mean, playing a team event in HCR, you literally, if you do a good score, one of your first runs, you don't really need to do anything anymore. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Unless you want to improve.
Yeah, well, yeah, but if you got a score that it's too good, you can just relax. You got 2 days just to, whether you play cups, adventure, challenges, time trials, whatever it is. But there's no, and in terms of team leadership, as long as you try to make sure that all the players have joined and you try to encourage them, they've done their best. There's no such thing as they die and go out and they're going to be repairing and they're going to back in again. There's none of that. Whereas in Cats, it was a continuous. You go in, take a building, and then you're going to have to. Somebody or more than one person has to watch the status of these buildings so that and to alert players to go back in the game again. So it required a lot more.
Wow.
Yeah.
More attention to detail. Okay, that's very interesting. I probably won't get into that because that'll be too time consuming. So you'll have to show me that next time we meet up, mate. But I think we've got time for maybe just 2 more questions, JR and Eva, and then we'll start wrapping up. JR, mate, you still there?
Yeah, I have my own question, and this is my last question. If you get the chance to fill for another AUSNZ leader, or to try and experience being on his team, which leader would you choose? Would it be Dreddy from Team 1, or Muzz from Team 2, or Rookies, Pete from Team 3, or Big Sing from Team 4? And why did you pick that leader and his team?
Okay. The real answer first, I would not. I love my team. It's nothing personal. I would not move to any other team. Just because it's my baby.
Okay.
I've created this team and I would not move. But in terms of theoretically or hypothetically, I think in the AUSNZ community, the closest team to LTR in terms of their strength, in terms of their maybe the rules that they have and the culture that they have would be AUSNZ 4. So that would be what I would say I would be happy to do. But you can't just jump to a different team and lead it. It's just not possible. I don't think it's you need to understand the people who are playing in that team, the egos, what you do. So you can't just say, okay, I'm going to be leading you guys for a season. You probably piss half of them off and they'll leave. I don't know. but yeah.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yes.
These things takes time to get to know your players and so forth. So, Eva, last one, mate.
No, I've
all good. Did we find out what HWA stands for? We didn't get there yet.
No, we didn't get there yet.
Well, let's keep that as our final one, HWA. So what is, and that question was from Hamster, by the way, who's in our AUSNZ server. So shout out to Hamster. Hamster says, what does HWA stand for?
Here we are.
Here we are.
No, that's that's not. I'm just. So. So yeah, no, it's not actually, but it's yeah, it can be. So HWA at the moment is in my avatar. It's a German racing team. I just found out that there's a German racing team called HWA. So I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. That could be one. There's also North Korea has their missile systems. They start with HWA, so HWA Sol. But yeah, but the real HWA is it's really boring. It's my initials.
That's what you told me at the meetup. I remember that, and I was waiting for you to say it, but I wasn't gonna.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna
That's all
spoil
it is.
So.
But I've used it since I was at my uni days back in the 80s. I used to play this arcade game called Spy Hunter, and I loved it so much. It's a racing slash like a James Bond kind of theatric. So you spill things so that there's a cars chasing you, can't pass you, and stuff like that. So it's like the arcade games you play with a quarter. I was in the US at the time, and I loved it so much, and I was getting so much value for money from it because with one quarter I would just spend 20-30 minutes on the game, and I was getting best time. So I was, like when you get the best times in arcade games, you need to set your initials, and it's usually 3 initials. And what do I do? I HWA. So any spy hunter in the town I was living in had the top 10 were all HWAs. I would just go around all of them and do it. And yeah, it's that those initials stuck with me in games, and I've been using them ever since.
You're a true gamer, mate. That is for sure. That no other real gamer would do that. But that's a true gamer, right down to the heart. So well, good on you, mate. Wow, time has just really gone like a flash tonight. Mate, just incredible. Your insight to all the subjects that we've passed on today, and Dabell, just your insight to everything that is with the game, and yeah. So let's just go for the last thoughts, mate, before we wrap it up. HWA, mate. Yeah, any shout outs you wanna give to anybody in the server or anybody in real life or anyone? Now's the time to go for it, buddy.
First of all, I want to thank all of you. I mean, you're doing a fantastic job. I mean, this is what was it, episode 19. You guys are doing a fantastic job. You're really amazing. I remember the very first podcast, listening to it. It was impressive, and you're still going. That is really, really impressive. Your work is amazing. GTR, Eva, Pete, Alfie, Lynch, JR now, a member of the team, member of the podcast. So you guys are doing an amazing job. In the AUSNZ community, I want to thank Goose for persisting and insisting and putting a lot of effort in trying to convince me to come over and join the AUSNZ community. He was the one who introduced me, so I want to thank him for that. Look, all the players in my team, hopefully they will get to listen to this podcast at some point. I really enjoy having all of you in the team. We still have, I believe, about 13 members from the days before we joined AUSNZ, and they're still with the team. So I'm really proud of my players. I really enjoy having them. The longevity and the loyalty that they give to the team is second to none. We have players who can easily go to CC teams, but they're happy to stay to stay with us. So yeah, thank you to all of you. All the members of the AUSNZ community. It's really fun. I don't really spend that much time on the public chat or the general chat. I don't really spend that much time. I don't really have that much time. The game itself takes a lot of my time. But I really every once in a while I come across certain comments, so I really enjoy it. I enjoy the competitive nature of many of the players. Larry, obviously, it's really great to have you as a friend on Discord and on the game. But there's a lot of others. And if I start naming somebody, there'll be others who I may have forgotten. So everyone who I compete with in the game, trying to better my time, better their time, beat my time, and all of that. It's really enjoyable. It's really fun, and I hope to I hope we all keep enjoying this game. It's a fun game. It's not doesn't stress you out. And really, it's something that obviously, as you were discussing earlier in the podcast, how there needs to be continuous improvement from or new features from Fingersoft to keep the game alive. And I hope they can do that so we can remain part of this community and all of us enjoying what the purpose we are here for.
Yeah, mate. Let's just hope there's something down the track in the future that will keep us all together. Beautifully said, mate. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Nothing but much love for you. You're a great friend, and I just really appreciate you being in the server and yeah, mate. I enjoy our time together when we meet up for a drink and I love a chat and laugh and yeah, it's been great to have you get to know you a bit better on this podcast and to share it with the audience, and I'm sure they'll appreciate listening to this episode. So we've had Muzz listen for half the episode as well, that you don't notice, but Muzz has tuned in and he's a big fan of yours, mate. He always has high regard for you. So
yeah, look, I mean, Muzz, Maury, Baldur, all of I like again, as I said, I don't want to mention a lot of names because I may miss some, but yeah, I've had a lot of interaction with all of them, and everybody has been most helpful. Whenever I need something for the team or to add any feature or any role or anything like that, like everybody helps. It's a beautiful community. It's really fantastic.
Beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Eva, any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, it's been one show. It's been running having both of you on. I was really looking forward to this episode for the time I spent on LTR, and it was worth the wait. So happy that you guys. So happy you accepted the bus invitation. And great to have you on.
Thank you, Eva. No, it's a pleasure having you in with LTR with your alt, and as I said, anytime you're more than welcome to join. And again, thank you for your inspiring photos on the photo channel, and you're trying to create those competitions to make sure you get the engagement aspect. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort that happens in the background, and it's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Here to the JR, mate. Wrap it up for HWA.
Yeah, so on behalf of Pete, I would like to say thank you for joining us on the podcast. And it was so nice listening to you. I learned so many things tonight with everything that you shared, and see you around in the server.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, JR, who's sitting in for Pete. It would have been a pleasure as well to hear Pete's voice. But we come across each other a few times in discussions about teams and AUSNZ. But yeah, it's a pleasure, and hope to hear more from you, JR, in future podcasts as well. And
yes,
oh, you will. Don't worry, you will.
Great.
Thanks, mate, for coming on. Beautiful. Let's now. Usually, this time of the episode, we announce the next guest for the episode. Again, we're at a bit of a standstill on who's going to come in next. I've invited a few people into the server who have graciously accepted. We'll do some investigating and we'll we'll see who comes on down the track, and we'll announce it in the main AUSNZ server for the questions channel.
I just hope this isn't like the daily challenge that when I won the last one, nothing happened for a year. Yeah.
No, don't worry, mate. There will be another episode in about 2 weeks' time. You can guarantee it. It'll be our 20th episode. And again, I throw the challenge out to Freeman and Gatsby, and let's see what we can do with that. And we also have a couple of AUSNZ members who have joined the podcast server who will come on in future episodes. So we have some exciting guests coming up soon. Okie dokie. Thanks, guys. Great episode, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye for now.
Night, everybody.
All right, thank you, everybody.